The average person touches their phone over 2,000 times a day. Wild, right? Welcome, everyone, to this explainer. I am absolutely pumped you're here today because we're going to decode the hidden psychology behind one of the most common, everyday digital behaviors we literally all share. We're talking about your unconscious phone habit. We're going to peel back the layers of exactly why you think, act, and scroll the way you do. Get ready, because we are about to completely reframe how you see your relationship with your screen.
So let me ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with yourself here. Have you ever unlocked your screen, scrolled for maybe 2 seconds, locked it again, and then realized you have absolutely zero idea why you picked it up in the first place? You know the feeling. Maybe you were sitting at a really nice dinner, or maybe you were just waiting for a red light to turn green, and your hand instinctively reached for that screen like it was a literal bodily reflex. You look down and think, wait, why did I just do that?
Okay, let's dive into this, because most people just brush this reflex off as simple boredom. They think, oh, I had nothing to do for 10 seconds, so I grabbed my phone. But boredom is actually a completely incorrect psychological diagnosis for this mindless scrolling. Psychology proves that something much, much more intense is happening inside your mind. It's not a lack of things to do, it is a highly active, heavily engineered response.
To truly understand this, we've got to peel the psychological onion. Layer 1, the neurological hijack.
Let's toss our assumptions out the window for a second and look directly at the biological mechanisms firing off inside your brain the very moment your screen lights up. The core of this whole issue is the dopamine trap. You probably assume you're picking up your phone because you want information or entertainment, right? But the research actually shows your brain isn't hooked on the content itself. No, it's hooked on the anticipation of the content. That split second right before you click a notification or refresh your feed, that is when your dopamine spikes to its absolute highest level. Your brain is just constantly whispering to you, maybe this one will be the one, maybe this is the life-changing email or the hilariously viral video.
And that intense anticipation is powered by what psychologists call variable reward reinforcement. Think of it literally like a slot machine in a casino. These tech platforms engineer these random hits of excitement, like a new comment on your post or a video that actually makes you laugh out loud, to hit you at completely unpredictable intervals. Because you never know when that next reward is coming, your brain just stays locked in a constant, anxious state of seeking.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when those variable rewards completely take over digital conditioning. You are the subject in a grand psychological experiment designed to hijack your brain. It's digital conditioning. Reaching for your device, it's no longer an active, conscious choice you're making. It has become a programmed loop. You aren't deciding to look at your phone. Your conditioned brain is flat out demanding it.
Which brings us to layer 2, avoiding the uncomfortable. But listen, the brain's biology is really just the first piece of the puzzle. Let's pivot from the biology of the mind to the emotional truth of the heart. Let's look at the much deeper and sometimes heavier psychological reasons we so desperately seek a digital escape. What we're very often dealing with is escape behavior, picking up a device to avoid feelings of discomfort rather than actual boredom. We use our glowing screens to literally run away. And what are we running from? Well, it could be an assignment you haven't started that's given you massive anxiety. It could be a huge dream you're simply too afraid to chase. Or honestly, maybe it's just the quiet, creeping realization that your life feels a little bit stuck right now. The phone is just the perfect, instant escape hatch from those tricky feelings.
We love to tell ourselves we're just being busy and productive. We're answering emails or doing research. But the stark reality completely exposes that dissonance. The phone allows you to maintain the illusion of being productive, while in reality, you are actually doing nothing and avoiding discomfort. You're staring at a screen to avoid feeling like you're wasting your life, when the brutal irony is that the distraction itself is exactly what is wasting it.
If we peel back the next layer of this onion, we hit layer 3, the social currency.
This is where we uncover how our fragile human egos and our deep biological need for social validation are really pulling the strings behind our ever-increasing screen time. A massive driver of this habit is an external locus of control. In today's digital world, human attention has quite literally become a form of currency, and because of this, we start relying on outside reactions from social media platforms to dictate our own personal value. If you're constantly checking your phone for likes or new followers, it's because your self-worth has tragically become entirely negotiable based on digital applause. And that external focus inevitably creates a wildly toxic cycle of social comparison. You are taking your complex, messy, beautiful, difficult real life, and you are constantly measuring it against someone else's highlight reel. You're looking at their carefully curated, perfectly filtered best moments just to feel like you are enough. And let's be real, no one's daily reality can ever compete with a curated highlight reel.
This escalates things to layer 4, the distraction epidemic.
We need to escalate the stakes of this explainer right now, because this everyday habit of checking our phones is no longer just a quirky personal flaw. It is widely recognized by experts as a major societal crisis. Psychologists at Stanford University delivered this incredibly heavy insight. The greatest addiction of our time is distraction. That carries some serious academic weight. Not drugs, not alcohol, distraction. When you lose your ability to focus, you aren't just losing time. You are literally losing your life in pieces, one 5-minute check at a time.
But don't worry, here is layer 5, the actionable resolution.
Now take a deep breath, because I really don't want you leaving here feeling discouraged. We are shifting the tone sharply right here, because you absolutely can break this system. The very moment you notice these patterns is the exact moment you start to regain your power. Let's look at how you take control back. The behavioral psychology cure to this massive distraction epidemic is called friction theory. It's elegantly simple. You break these heavily conditioned automatic habits by intentionally adding small amounts of physical or digital resistance into the process. Basically, you just have to make it a tiny bit harder to get that dopamine hit.
Let's move to and see how this builds into real life with 2 highly actionable steps. Step 1. Move your most addictive apps into a hidden folder on the very last page of your home screen. Step 2. Actually log out of your accounts every single time you close the app. By forcing your brain to search for the app and manually type in a password, you instantly break that automatic reflex. You insert a crucial pause between the urge and the action.
So the crucial point is this: you must force your brain to choose awareness over distraction. You cannot passively hope to get your focus back. You literally have to actively deprogram yourself. You've got to create enough friction that checking your phone becomes a conscious choice again, rather than just a mindless zombie reflex.
I want to leave you with this final, truly provocative thought. A mind that can't be distracted is a mind that can't be controlled. We've seen the science today, we've seen the dopamine traps and the escape behaviors. So ask yourself, as you step out of this explainer and back into your daily life, who is controlling your mind right now? Is it you, or is that device sitting in your pocket? It's time to consciously step out of the digital matrix, stay aware, and take your attention back. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.